Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of Muzikxpress. My name is Twan, and in this week's vlog you will see my interview with Wout van Dessel about the Sylver classic Turn the Tide. But before we start with the interview, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and very important, also make sure to click the bell button, because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. And if you enjoy my interviews and you want to support Muzikxpress, you can do that via one of the links in the video description. Every donation is very much appreciated. Alright, here it is, the story behind Turn the Tide by Sylver, my interview with Wout van Dessel. Enjoy! Wout van Dessel is a DJ and producer from Belgium. He's responsible for projects such as Flesh and Bones, DJ Wout, and of course Sylver. Back in the year 2000, the very first Sylver track, Turn the Tide, came out. A trance track with vocals from singer Silvie De Bie. At first the track got released under the project name Liquid featuring Sylvie, but later the group changed the name of the project to Sylver. During the years, Sylver released tons of tracks such as Forgiven, Why Worry, In Your Eyes, Forever in Love, Skin, Livin My Life, and many others. But the track that started it all was of course the hit single Turn the Tide. Because of the 25th anniversary of Turn the Tide, I made a visit to Belgium to ask producer Wout van Dessel if he could share the story behind this classic. My first question to Wout was about what age he did start with listening to music.
I think I started when I was capable of using my ears. Music has always been in my life because my father had a local radio show, and instead of paying for a babysit, he just took me to the radio station.
Oh, that's cool.
I think from my 5-6 year on, I spent most of my free time with my dad in the radio station.
Oh, that's nice. And do you remember some of the bands or acts that you were listening to back then?
Well, he had a very wide range of musical interest, because his radio show was very eclectic. So I got in touch with music from early new wave till folk music, country music, everything that was out there. And I think that shaped me later on in my musical luggage.
Yeah. So around what age did you start with making music yourself?
Making music myself? I think like every DJ or artist with the mixtapes, the mixtapes that you recorded from the top 30 shows on the radio station. I started with that when I was around 12. That was also the age when I started buying records at music fairs and record shops. And my first dance track, I think it must have been around 18, 19 years old. Yeah.
And do you remember the title of that one?
No, because I still got like 120 demos unreleased and unfinished. But that's how you work in the beginning. You have an idea, you start working on that, and at a certain point you get bored and say, I'll work on that later. And later never happens. Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
So I've heard you learn producing from Jan de Vloed, who you might know from projects such as Fiocco and Scoop, for example.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, because I met him in the record store where I went in Mechelen, in Belgium, where I went every Thursday to buy my records. He was working there, and he made a package of fresh new tracks every week for me, and that's how we got in touch. And when I explained him, I've never been in a real music studio, he invited me over, and that was my first time in a real recording studio, and he taught me the very beginnings of producing.
So I think Jan was already successful then with Fiocco?
Yeah. He just had had Fiocco released, the first track, and then very soon after that, the whole Scoop. Yeah, he was a multi-talent on producing.
Yeah. So for this walk we're going to talk about the Sylver classic Turn the Tide, which turns 25 this year. Yeah, for this track you did work together with Reggie and vocalist Sylvie De Bie. First things first, do you recall meeting Reggie for the first time?
I do recall meeting Reggie because I was resident in the famous Belgian club Illusion, resident DJ. And we invited him and Philip van Deuren, his producing partner, over to come and play a live gig of the music that they made then and I'm talking about 97, 98, they produced music under the name K-Lab. That was underground, instrumental, deep trance. So they brought a huge mixing panel and 7, 8, 9 keyboards to the club, and they brought a live act of deep underground trance. And yeah, that was the first time I met him. And I was really interested in how do you make that music, and he was really interested in DJing.
Yeah, I think we'll get back to that like later. So were you inspired by something when you started to work on Turntide?
Yes. I was inspired by the vocal trance of that time. And especially, I remember the album of the Space Brothers. That was the true inspiration of creating Turntide and the later songs of Sylver. Yeah. I have to say the Space Brothers, they inspired me the most.
Yeah, oh nice.
Yeah.
So okay, tell a bit more about the production process from Turntide.
Turntide, it's a real unusual production process because it happened on a Sunday. And that Saturday night, Reggie came to Illusion to perform his live gig. And when he went back home that night, he couldn't fit all the material, all the keyboards in his car anymore. So he said, can you take these 2 keyboards home and bring it to me in the day or 2? So I did. But the next day, I was so curious, I took the keyboards out, I plugged it in my own home studio, and that's when I found the hook of Turn the Tide. Ding, 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 ding. So I recorded it, and I brought the keyboards back to him. And I said, well, thank you, I think I might have found something. So then I got the hook, and I had written the lyrics, and I showed it to him, and he said, okay, maybe let's try to work this out in my studio. So the first step was at my studio, and then we went to his. And yeah, then we had an instrumental song, and we only needed a vocalist.
Yeah, so was it the plan from the start already to make it like a vocal track?
Yes.
Yeah, because you were inspired by the Space Brothers.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. So yeah, for the vocals, you use like Sylvie, and we spoke before the interview, like because Sylvie, I didn't know she was like a, how do you call his names, like a child star?
A child star, yeah. Sylvie was a very famous child star in Belgium. She had a lot of success when she was 8, 9 years old. But at the age of 14, 15, she quit singing and performing. She was fed up with it. She said, literally, I'm never gonna go on stage again. But we met each other at Illusion, at the club. But she just came there dancing, partying like every teenager. But everybody knew, of course, that she was a vocal talent. So I walked up to her and I said, listen, I got this track. I don't know anybody who sings as good as you. Are you interested? And she said, no, I'm done with that. I'm done with singing. But of course, I mean, with my convincing skills, we made an agreement, and she said, all right, let's record the song, but you cannot put my name or face on the cover because I'm doing this as a favor to you, but I don't want people to know that I'm still singing.
Yeah, so I think she said like, okay, 1 track only and that's it.
Absolutely. Yeah. 1 track only. Yeah.
The vocals were recorded in Reggie's studio then, I guess? Yeah. So what was the role of each of you, like Reggie and you in the studio when you worked on the track?
The role of Reggie and me has been the same throughout the whole Sylver process. I usually came with the lyrics and with a hook, a melody, just a catchy melody. And Reggie took my lyrics and he searched for the melody. How are we going to sing those lyrics? And we recorded everything at his studio.
Yeah.
So that was always the production process. I came with an idea with the lyrics and the hook, and then I went to him and he said, okay, let's put those ingredients into a song.
Yeah. So like, you wrote the lyrics. Were you inspired by something while you were like working on the lyrics, or?
No, I mean, again, I have to refer to my younger years at my dad's radio show, where I was, as soon as I got the understanding of the English language, I was really inspired and interested in song lyrics, in any genre. And it's always been a dream of me as a kid of writing poetry and turn it into song lyrics.
Yeah.
So I was not really inspired by an artist, but I was inspired by the essence of telling a small story in 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, and then turn it into a song.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, for the equipment, like we already said, like okay, what did you use for the hook? What synthesizer was that?
It was a small yellow one, and I don't have it anymore because it's at Reggie's studio. I think Emu something, but we never used it again. So I only used it 26 years ago now for that one hook, and never used it again. It only had like 127 sounds.
Okay.
Really, really big. But you see, one good sound is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And what other equipment was used for the track?
The Yamaha for the pads, the North lead for the lead, for the typical lead sound, and that's basically it. We only had like 7 or 8 tracks in the whole song.
Yeah.
It was very, very, I want to say empty, but no, it's not empty, but we didn't put like 30 or 35 tracks into the production and layers.
Yeah, because these days sometimes you hear talks and it's like 80 layers.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you were more limited, I guess.
Well, limited and not interested in the idea of layering in melodies. That was not done. Nowadays, you have to do it to make the sound feel bombastic. But back then, just one lead, a good pad, a hook, melody, maybe a sequence, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. So how long did it take you guys to finish the track?
One day.
Yeah. So it was not a difficult track to make.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What was it? Was it easy to find a label for the track?
It was. The song had been resting in my studio for almost a year. Nobody was interested.
Oh wow.
Nobody. No. And it was on a certain day that DJ Ghost, who was playing from Bonsai Records, who was playing at Sherry Moon as a resident DJ, and back then we played basketball together. And after a game, he came home with me to my studio. And he said, "Oh, what have you been doing lately?" I said, "All of this and Turn the Tide." And he said, "Wow, since last week I started working at this small record label called Byte Records. Can I take it to my boss and show it to him?" And Byte Records, very famous record label from Jean-Paul de Koster, who had been doing Tour Limited, of course, and DJ Sash. And the minute he showed Turn the Tide to Jean-Paul, he called me and said, "You have to come to the company right now and bring your singer." He was totally over the moon.
Yeah.
So we had a label, but it took us a year.
That's long.
That's long.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah. First the track came out under the project name Liquid featuring Sylvie, which was renamed later to Sylver for the worldwide release.
Yeah.
So what was the reason for the name change?
Because at that time there was, I think, in Ireland, a dance project called Liquid. They had a hit with a song called Closer, also vocal trance, in the late 90s. And I missed it. I totally missed it. So they said, "Hey, this name already exists." And of course, they were totally right. So we had to come up with another name. And it was an idea from somebody at the records company. I said, "Yeah, why don't you just use Sylvie, Sylver, and you just switch the I and the Y." That's how it. Don't make it too complicated.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sylvie from Sylver. So
Still a good name, right?
absolutely.
So yeah, on the original release of Turn the Tide, we can find a remix made by Airscape, and later CJ Stone and Rui da Silva also did remixes.
Yeah.
So were you involved with choosing the remixes, or was this all done by the record company?
Well, I was a bit involved because they asked me which DJs or producers at that time do you play in your sets? Because I played, I had 2 residencies back in those days: Illusion, the trance club, and Karate was a famous after club where we played a little bit more deeper, more underground. So I came up with a list of names, and then they got in touch with them, and whoever was interested. He got a job.
Yeah.
And we had some pretty good remixes.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's some really good names.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of remixes, during the years, the track has been re-released a few times with new remixes. And you guys even did a version in French, which is called Je ne sais pas.
Yeah.
There's also a beautiful acoustic version of the track. In 2003, a hardstyle version of Turn the Tide came out from the Lowriders and Sylver. Yeah. In January of 2025, a drum and bass version came out by Murdoch featuring Sylver. And you guys just released a brand new version, the Dress and DJ Wout remix.
Yeah.
So do you have a personal favorite version of Turn the Tide yourself?
That's difficult, eh?
Yeah, there's a lot of remix. I mean, there's also a lot of unofficial remixes.
Yes, but the best ones have had an official release. So the ones that you named, they are amongst the best. The Lowriders remix is one of my favorite, and is also the one that I played the most in my live sets.
How fast is it? Because it's hard.
It's 150 BPM.
Yeah.
And another great one is from CJ Stone, the German DJ CJ Stone. He remixed it in 2001. So those are two remixes you have to check out. CJ Stone and Lowriders.
I think before the interview, we were also talking about remix, and I think you said like every week you will get at least like one remix request, like, hey, can I remix Turn the Tide?
Yeah. There must be something magic about that song, because indeed, like once a week we get a request. On any level. So I mean, amateur level, just until Murdoch, the Lowriders, very professional. But we choose carefully. We don't agree with every offer they make or every remix that they present. So we are a bit
picky.
Yeah, a bit
picky. But it's good. Because if you have a remix every 5 months, then people are getting bored maybe.
Exactly, yeah. It's your legacy, you have to take care of it.
Yeah, exactly. So when Turn the Tide came out, it made it to the #1 position in the Ultra Top here in Belgium, and also the Flemish Radio 2, top 30, it became a #1 hit. It was also one of the 10 most sold singles in Flanders in 2000, and also in other countries such as Germany, Romania, Austria, the Netherlands, Spain, etc. The track made it into the charts. So you just said like it took like a year before the track was signed. So did you expect that the track would become so big?
No. At that point, the point of release, I was happy it got a release.
That was enough already for you.
Yeah, that was enough. But pretty fast we got convinced that we had something special, because within a month after the release, it got picked up by every DJ in Belgium, every small radio station. And the release was on July the 1st of 2000. And 3 weeks later already we went to #1. So at the moment of the release, I was happy. I thought, finally it's released. But then week after week, I saw it growing. So it went really fast.
I think it was internet already back then, but not as we know it right now. So did the record company phone you, or how did it go, like with updates about the track?
Yes, of course. Back in those days, every Tuesday, the record company would call you with the sales of the week. And then the sales got so big that they started phoning me every day. Yeah, like today we sold 2,000. The next day we sold 3,000. And then the year after that, when we had a release in Germany, the same procedure, but the numbers. Every day at 4:30, yes, hello, today we sold 38,000 copies. But we're expecting something big tomorrow because you're going to be on television there. And then the next day, today we sold 50,000 copies. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So how many copies have been sold during the years?
We stopped counting at around 2 million copies worldwide. That is throughout all the years, and then streams took over the real sales.
So I think you were around 25 years old when the track came out. What was music a full-time job for you already then?
It was.
Yeah, because you also did the DJing.
Yeah. I quit school when I was 19, because I was already playing 3-4 times a week. It was impossible.
Yeah, exactly. To combine.
Yeah.
So what had happened after the success of Turn the Tide? Did you guys start with doing live shows straight away? Because Sylvie didn't want to do
Yeah. Well, Turn the Tide became then a #1 hit, and immediately all the booking agencies started phoning. What can we book this act? I said, we have no music. We only have one song. Yeah, but still, just make another one and we can book you for 15 minutes in the little dance bars and the clubs. So we made a copy of Turn the Tide, a song called The Smile Has Left Your Eyes, with the same sound. And so immediately we started doing shows with Turn the Tide. The Smile Has Left Your Eyes, and then one more time Turn the Tide.
Yeah, as a bonus.
Yeah, as a bonus. Of course, it was totally ridiculous, but we did that throughout the summer. And then the record company says, yeah, guys, you have to continue now. We're going to lock you up in the studio the whole month of September. You got 4 weeks. And in those 4 weeks, we wrote and recorded all the other songs that combined made the album Chances.
Yeah, so that was like Skin, Forgiven.
Skin, Forgiven, Forever in Love. And then the ballad In Your Eyes.
Yeah, In Your Eyes.
Yeah. So we had 5 top-selling singles from the first album.
In 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
So maybe they have to block you up more often, to make, yeah?
Recording, according to Jean-Paul de Koster from our record company, that's the best way to create hits. Yeah. Just, go on a holiday, have fun, and when you come back, we'll lock you up for 4 weeks.
Yeah, oh, nice.
Yeah.
So was it difficult to combine all of this with your job as a DJ? Because at the time you were already resident DJ at Illusion and Carrot.
Well, it was not so difficult to combine. Actually, it was an advantage to be able to play and test the tracks that we made immediately on the dance floor in the different kind of clubs and parties that I was playing. That was a big advantage. Yeah. I did not have to hand them out to all the DJs. I could play it myself. I tested them.
And you got instant feedback from the crowd?
Instant.
Yeah. Ah, nice.
Yeah.
So this year we're celebrating 25 years of Turn the Tide. You guys are doing a lot of live shows to celebrate this milestone. Are there any other plans for the 25th anniversary?
Well, we have been thinking about how to celebrate the 25th anniversary. What we are doing is we made two remixes. The one is just released now. The other one is going to be released on July 7th. Besides that, we made a whole new live show with an overview of all the Sylver hits. And we play that live with a real live band. That's a lot of work. We worked on that for like 6 months. So, but I mean, then if you come to watch a Sylver show, you get like the whole 25 years in 75 minutes. And yeah, I think we can go on and perform with that show for many more years.
Yeah. So what else can we expect from Sylver in the near future?
Well, in the near future, we have actually just written a new single that will be released in October, November. But like I said, it's just mainly about performing right now. Yeah. We are just crafting our live show because we want to take it outside of Belgium as well to the other countries that have always been supporting us, like the ones you mentioned there, Germany, Poland, Romania. So our goal is now to bring the live show to as many countries as possible.
Yeah, and they can also combine it with a little vacation maybe.
You said it. Good idea.
Yeah. So what do you consider to be the best Sylver track you ever made? I know this is always a difficult question, but I always like to ask it.
It is. Successfully and in sales, it's not no track beats Turn the Tide. But my personal favorite is the song Take Me Back. It's so energetic, and anywhere we play that song, the reaction of the crowd, it's always like, it feels like a kick in the nuts. Yeah. We always play it like halfway through the show when the energy is a bit coming down, and Take Me Back is my re-energizing song. Yeah, and anywhere I put it in the set, boom. Yeah, it goes up again.
Yeah, nice. So when you're not in the studio, you're often on the road touring with Sylver or playing gigs as DJ Wout.
Yeah.
But what kind of music do you listen to in your spare time?
I still got a big heart for trance in all its forms, instrumental or vocal. But besides that, I'm also a big country music fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. I think in my archives you can find like any album of Johnny Cash. Also, what people don't expect, folk music, Simon and Garfunkel. I got a lot of ideas for songwriting from them. So I have a wide variety of musical interest. But it's nice. That keeps me going, and sometimes brings me to the creation of interesting yeah, combinations.
Yeah. I was just thinking when you said Johnny Cash, what about like a cover of a Ring of Fire for Sylver?
I'm gonna suggest that to Sylvie.
Let's see what she says.
It's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
A good idea. I'll send you the credits if we do it.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, and the last question: pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely yes.
Good, I like that. Well, thank you very much for your time and good luck with everything.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Alright, that was it. This week's vlog, my interview with Wout van Dessel and the story behind Turn the Tide by Sylver. Wout, thanks a lot for your time. Much appreciated. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and very important, make sure to subscribe. Also make sure to click the bell button, because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. Once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye!